We were up at 4 o'clock in the morning the day the rhino hunt took place.
Torben Espensen is a successful Danish businessman, a hunter, a gun collector and an ambassador for international shooting, acknowledged by the World Forum on the Future of Sport Shooting Activities. We meet him in Sweden, where he tells us about his passion for trophies and justifies how he travels the world in pursuit of some of the planet's most endangered animals, in particular the rhino.
We took a shot at about 60 yards, and the first shot was
You
right through here.
specialise in endangered animals. That's not very nice.
Well, depending what type of glasses you have on. Asking a question like that, the first thing I'll accuse you for is having blinkers on, because then you actually don't know what's going on.
Well, tell me, what's going on?
Today, most of the hunting around the world is very regulated, controlled, at least in most of the countries. And what the anti-hunting people doesn't understand, that if it wasn't for licensed hunting, we wouldn't have any game left.
Torben has given us permission to use footage from his white rhino hunt in South Africa in 2008. After 4 hours of tracking 2 bull rhino, he has the opportunity to shoot.
After it was all over, and said to me, "Thank you, Mr. Espensen." And I was looking with a big question mark on him and said, "For what?" "For the act you just done. You shot a rhino." I said, "Yes." "Yeah, are you aware that without people like you, we would not be able to maintain the stock of rhinos we have? Because about 80% of the trophy fee you're paying is going back to maintain the wildlife. And this is one of the things that the anti-hunting person doesn't understand. If we doesn't have that money to go back to the trade and to maintain the wildlife, we wouldn't have anything left, because then everything will be open for poaching. And by the end of the day, we will just look at an empty world with no game. Is that what they want? There is an expression, what the Americans say, if it pays, it stays.
I guess you paid a great deal of money. Can you say how much?
Half a farm.
Half a farm?
Yes.
For a single animal?
Yes.
Why?
When I was 14, I had my confirmation. And an uncle gave me a book. It was a travel description from an English lord and her ladyship back in the middle 1800s, going to Kenya on safari. But in that book, there was a scene of a rhino hunt. I mean, I'm 14 years old, and I was sitting in my tiny little room, and I wasn't reading the book actually, I was eating it. But I swore, as 14 years old, I'm going to have that experience someday in my life. It took me more than half a lifetime to get there. When I celebrated 50 years, I made up my mind. I'm going to fulfill the dream I had when I was 14. So I said to friends and family, I don't want any gift. I want cash or checks. I'm going to save for rhino. And in 1998, I fulfilled my dream. And actually, to say it plain open, I was crying. I lifted my head and looked up and said, thank you. Emotion took over. It was a fantastic day for me.
Okay, bongo, Nubian ibex, southern white rhino, crocodile. You're not a bad person?
No. I benefit to the preservation of them. Tanzania is in full speed they have more or less copied the situation in South Africa. A lot of the money we pay in trophy fee is going back to the trade to maintain gamekeepers and anti-squat groups and anti-poaching groups and stuff like that. And because if we don't do that, the animal is going to disappear.
What about all the animal watchers, the tourists who go and look at animals instead of shooting them?
That's an income for the trade in the countries as well. But the problem here is these animals are not really wild anymore. To me, it doesn't mean anything. I can see a cheetah or lion lying 4 meters from a car because I'm so used to it. Some of the wild has been taken out. Most of my animal have been taken in real wilderness. That's where I see the challenge. And to me, to be a hunter, the way I see things, I think it's a privilege. I'm very grateful that the good Lord have let me done that.